How's it going, guys? This is Movie Bros. We're doing Sports Talk Episode 4. I'm Corey the Stooks.
Frankie the Cisco Kid.
And the big news today is Josh Norman has been.
Is that the big news?
I'd say that's the big news.
I guess that's
Josh
big,
Norman's franchise tag is rescinded.
Mm-hmm.
He's an unrestricted free agent.
I think that was crazy for them to do that. I also think that cornerbacks are overpaid at sometimes. I think the only cornerback who deserves the money they got would you say it'd be Revis? Because I'm not saying Sherman's not a bad player, but he's been a great player. But I think out of all the cornerbacks, maybe even Dion, I guess if we're going that far back, but he didn't get as much money as.
It was a different era.
Right.
Salaries weren't what they are now.
I kind of agree with him. I wouldn't pay that much money because it's been 1 year. It was a 1 year thing. You know what I mean? With the past quarterbacks, you've had Sherman, who's had multiple good years. Revis, multiple good years.
But the problem with the way the modern NFL is going, it's more pass oriented.
Yeah.
So if you have an elite secondary, you could do a lot of damage. So while it's not really cost efficient to pay corners lots of money,
right.
If you get a good secondary, you can be great.
And if your team's always winning, like the Panthers usually are, the other team's passing the ball, and if you stop that pass, I guess you're right. I mean, I just don't know if I would have. Apparently, he wasn't even going to sign the franchise tag. That's what they were going. He was going to hold out, right? That's what they were saying.
I guess I heard he was willing to take the tag. I think the reason they got rescinded it was he was not interested in making a long-term deal.
Oh, okay. So
he was just taking the tag. They could have. You can only tag a guy twice in a row, so they could have done it this year and maybe next year. But then he'd be unrestricted and he could go. And I guess they were just like, well, if he's not willing to lock it up long term, we're just gonna move on.
Right.
I kind of understand where they're coming from, but that's a guy that's gonna be hard to replace. And as good as Carolina is, and Carolina's defense is predicated on that front seven being elite, but he was special, and like the rest of their secondary was veteran players.
Yeah, Tillman, Finnegan. Yeah,
I'm really interested in how they're gonna fill that void.
I know there's a lot of cornerbacks coming out into the draft this year, so I mean that might help them. But I mean, I think the best one.
Maybe they'll get that kid from U of H. Very appropriate.
Is it Ward? James the third, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he's supposed to fall down there too. So
that's about where he's projected to go.
Yeah. So maybe good for them in a way. I know it takes quarterback a couple years to get the position. Other news, big news today. The Eagles, they traded up to move to the number 2 overall pick, and I was just talking to Corey about it. Somebody please tell me the deal with these two quarterbacks. I mean, Cal is not a great college football organization, and neither is South Dakota State.
Listen.
Is that what it is?
They moved the team to Los Angeles, Frankie. We gotta sell tickets. We let go of all of our good.
So it's a cash grab.
We let go of Long. We let go of Laurinaitis. We have to sell some tickets.
Still got a ticket, yeah. Well, I mean, that I understand. Jared Goff. I don't see. He reminds me a lot of a Casey Keenum, which they already have.
I'm actually okay with them rolling with Keenum over because to me they invested so much, and I mean you've mortgaged the future. If this guy isn't the guy, you've hurt yourself for about.
Because didn't they like. Didn't they give up their second round pick a couple years ago to the Browns when they got RG3? Not the Browns, but the Redskins, and now they did it. They kind of went all in.
We'll see what happens.
But this North Dakota State kid, what's up with that?
I'm not high on him.
I'm not either. It's just
I think this is why I'm so glad the Texans signed
Brock again the best available quarterback.
Because I'm not high on this class.
No.
And you saw. The Rams and the Eagles, they really they got rid of a lot of picks.
Mm-hmm.
And they've mortgaged their future on a couple of guys that are unproven commodities. We'll see how it goes. And the odds do tell us that probably one of these guys will be a productive quarterback, but one of them will not. So that they played Russian.
It seems like the Luck and Griffin, the Manning and I'm not saying their name, Manning and Leaf.
You're playing Russian roulette.
Right, yeah. I just think that's a lot to give up. I think what happened was, really, Tennessee wasn't going to pay a quarterback, right? So, really what happened was...
they had Mariota.
So, whenever the Rams came in, all these other teams, like 49ers, they were all like crap. Like, these quarterbacks, they're going to go fast now because those are the best available quarterbacks.
You watch when the draft happens, I think there will be 4 quarterbacks taken in the first round. This is not a draft that deserves 4 QBs.
No, who are the 4? I know the Memphis kid, right? Where do you think he'll fall to? I'm guessing the 49ers?
Maybe.
See, I know Denver really wanted to draft him, and this whole trade situation just kind of blew everything out of proportion. And it's just now everybody's like, we need picks. We need to hurry up and pick, move up.
I will say that the Titans GM is doing a really good job. It makes me nervous because I am a Texans fan. But he accumulated a lot of picks.
He did, yeah.
And I liked the pickup of DeMarco. But having said that, I think the Texans have made some huge upgrades as well.
Well, I like how we're not reaching in this draft. There's going to be a great wide receiver. I think that's where we're going.
The areas of need right now are definitely receiver, tight end, and maybe offensive line.
Right. Line or apparently we did I think J.J. Watt's brother actually worked out for the Texans, a Wisconsin fullback. That's cool. So I mean, if he has hands like J.J. Watt, that'd be great because back then we used the fullback like crazy, and it was awesome having him. Yeah. But that's pretty much all about football. Basketball playoff season's happening.
How do you think the bracket's going to go down? I've got the Spurs sweeping the Grizzlies.
Right.
I think they will beat the Thunder in 6 games. The thing about the Thunder, I like the Thunder, but they're not a very good defensive team. And what we're seeing in this Dallas series is a little surprising because I don't think Dallas is that great of a basketball.
Like 74.
It was a low score game.
Yeah, well, I mean Durant was off that night, but
he missed a lot of shots.
Yeah, with 7 for 30 something, right? Like
7 for 38, 8 for 33 was not
it was bad.
But for him, that's unusual. And Russell's great, but I don't like.
I think every time I tell you when the Thunder play, if Westbrook has more points than Durant, they always lose.
Well, the thing about Billy, I liked Billy Donovan as a college coach, but I like him more as a college coach than I do as an NBA coach.
Yeah,
where it's the exact opposite with Brad Stevens. I think Brad Stevens is a marvelous NBA coach, but I don't see Donovan out scheming Popovich. And here's the thing about that Dallas-Oklahoma City matchup. I think Oklahoma City will eventually win this series, but
they shouldn't lose any more games.
Dallas has a big advantage at head coach. Carlisle's a vastly superior coach. Now that's probably not. It's not going to matter because Westbrook and Durant are going to be enough to beat Dallas whenever they do beat Dallas. And you're right; they shouldn't lose any more games. But my point is, because Carlisle's better, they can stay in some of these games that they have no business.
You never know. I mean, you're going to Dallas now. I'm pretty sure Dallas can get a game at home. I mean, we'll see.
How long do you think the San Antonio Thunder series would be? I don't think it's going to be that long. 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think Popovich that bench is so awesome. I watched them last night, and they're one of my favorite teams, and that bench just it flows so great. The only thing that kind of bothers me sometimes, they do this a lot, is they pass too much. They overpass when they don't have to, and they cause turnovers. But I mean, I honestly, and even the Warriors, I think this Curry thing, this ankle, is something serious, and they're hiding.
The one thing about Curry, the biggest injuries concern he's had throughout his career, it's always been the ankles, and we'll see. You know, if he's not 100% right, I would take the Spurs, and actually, if he was completely healthy, I might take the Spurs anyway, just because I think
you never know if Curry is hurt, like I think he is. The Clippers could give him a run for their money. Also, the point guard position would then clearly go to Chris Paul.
See, my biggest concern with the Clippers has always been if they have the advantage at point guard, they're great. But see, just I don't know. I'm not sure about the Clippers. I think the Clippers will beat the Blazers no problem. But their second round problems are real. Like they just let the pressure get to them.
Yeah.
And I don't see them rising to the occasion.
Anybody in the East? Do you see? I mean, I honestly don't. I don't really.
Do you think Indiana's going to beat Toronto?
No, I don't. That was it. I don't. I think that was it. I think because Toronto now has a 2-1 lead on them, right?
I don't remember what the game count is, but I think that Toronto is prone to choking in the first round.
I think this year they'll get it because
I'm kind of hoping they do. But narratively wise,
right?
It's like the Clippers can't get to the West Finals.
I honestly think though the Pistons can give Cleveland some trouble. I'm telling you, that first game. Did you see the first game?
Nah.
That first game was a tough one for Cleveland.
It was tough, but
it was tough.
Cleveland's gonna win that series. In 5
I feel
games.
bad. I think Celtics are gonna be out. They're 2-0 or 3-0.
It's 2-0.
2-0.
But
who else? I didn't even know the Wizards weren't even in the playoffs. The Hornets are definitely going to lose. Honestly, my prediction is going to be the Heat and Cavaliers in the.
I agree.
In the conference.
But see, is
that possible?
I think it's very possible.
No, but is it though? Can that happen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I wasn't.
I think it's extremely possible.
Well, I mean, extremely possible as far as the bracket side.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I didn't know if they're on the right side.
But this is why I think this is extremely possible. I could see the Pacers winning that series and then playing the Heat and the Heat beating the Pacers. But I think the Heat would beat either of them. But I agree with you. I think I've always thought Heat Cavs. When I saw the bracket, that's what I thought.
What team is better, the Heat or the Cavaliers?
I think the Cavs are going to win that series.
You think the Cavs win the series? I think the Heat will give the money. I would love to. I think that'd be the cherry on top.
What you have to understand is
LeBron will let.
He'll just will them to win that series.
LeBron will let them lose that. I think LeBron is leading.
It's his ego.
Yeah, that's true.
Could you imagine he left them, and if they beat him, it'll make him look supremely bad. If anything, that's his NBA Finals. He won't let them beat him.
So, okay, Defensive Player of the Year, you were cool with, right?
Oh, fuck.
Hands down, that was okay. Sixth man.
Who got it?
Jamal Crawford. I feel like they just give it to him. They have nobody else to give it to. I was really kind of pissed about that. I was like, really? That's how you give it to Jamal Crawford? He's won 3. Me personally, he needs to win Most Improved Player every year.
Can I ask you something? I know you don't really like the Warriors. What about Livingston? I think Livingston could have been a good 6.
I thought, I really did too. I think he could have been, but you know who else? Andre Iguodala.
Oh, he's great.
He could have been a good 6th man of the year. So
not that I love the Warriors.
I'm just saying this is. What other awards do they have?
Who won Most Improved?
I think Sean Livingston.
Oh, CJ McCollum, right?
Right, for the Grizzlies?
The Blazers.
Blazers, yes, okay, yeah. And then Coach of the Year, who do you got? Are you saying Kerr or Walton?
You can't give it. I keep hearing all these ESPN people saying Steve Kerr for Coach of the Year. Steve Kerr coached 39 games this year.
That's what I'm saying.
Bill Walton had a better record than Steve Kerr.
So you have to get the pop then again? Or would you give it to Brad Stevens?
I'd give it to either Brad Stevens or I'd give it to I don't know if I'd give it to the Toronto coach. I mean, that is the highest seed they've ever gotten.
Yeah.
But
it's the East. That's not saying nothing. I guess. Was the worst crap year?
I'll tell you something. The 8th seed in the East
would had
the same record as the 5th seed in the West.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Top to bottom, the East has more balance.
Stop. Conversation's over. No. You know who you give it to?
Who?
JB. Right?
JB Bickerstaff.
Yes.
He ain't gonna be on the staff next year.
Do you think that hurts them? Like knowing they're already talking about Van Gundy and.
You know they're not gonna get my heart broke today.
Tell me, was that not a beautiful pickup by them? Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Minnesota probably made the best offseason move today.
I'm so depressed.
That's a defensive minded coach.
That's the guy I wanted. That's a great pickup. That's unfortunate.
Are we gonna go through the Van Gundy effect again? Apparently Scott Brooks is on our list too.
If they get Scott Brooks, it's to try to sway Durant, in my opinion.
I agree, and then it's also to keep Howard because Scott Brooks says he wants Howard. I just think Howard's staying, and I think.
You think Howard's
staying? I do not think Howard's staying. It's like a 0.01% chance he'll stay.
I think he's going too.
I don't know. I'd honestly go for Paul Gasol over Howard right now. If you can get Paul Gasol, Durant, and Harden, you have a hell of a team.
Well, it definitely would improve the outside shooting. Gasol can space the floor. And the one thing about a guy like Paul Gasol, it's kind of like the Heat had Bosch. He was a guy that could shoot that 15-foot jump shot.
Right.
But he cleared the lane so Wade and LeBron could drive to the hole. So when you have a big man that can shoot a jump shot outside, it spaces the floor out for your team. So, I mean, it could be a good pickup.
I'm not even going to talk about baseball.
It's way too early. There's like 145 games left.
We're horrible right now.
Oh, come on.
There's no reason why we're losing. It hurts. I can't.
You're crazy.
Houston sports right now is hard to watch. It hurts.
You can't get depressed.
I am getting depressed. We have this badass team, and we're not doing anything.
Well, they need to get another pitcher. They do.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm done. Anyways, thanks for watching. We're signing out.
Take it easy, guys.
Take care.